I will spoil it. We got it running. Of course we got it running. It's me. It's a me, a big me. So we got it running. So join us along. I appreciate you guys so much. Make sure you like and subscribe. Take a good look at it. Get your peepers on it. I'm talking snag a real good look on this thing. The cab's tilted forward, but you've got to be patient with these things. You got to be good to the old gal. You gotta give her some love. You gotta give her some patience. She's a good gal. She's gonna come around, man. She's gonna come around. I promise you, she's gonna come around. You'll see in the future. But we needed to put some more work into it. But what we did do is I was able to get the driver's door working. We didn't film any of that. It was late at night. I was kind of working in the blind, had the flashlight going, arms up into the hole, found the busted window in there, but got the driver's door working. Would have been my luck that it didn't open, right? And we found the actual VIN on this, which is going to help us a ton because we can find parts. So that's all connected, right?
Should be.
So let's see if that solenoid does something. All right. Ow! Dang it. All right. Making sure no fire or anything right now. Hold on just a minute. Just hold on, man. Make sure nothing's smoking, no fire, no arky sparky. So I finally got the pump freed up. We were in there, we were in the top of that thing, man. We were moving it, wiggling it, doing everything we could, and I got it freed up. So what we're gonna try to do is see if we can't get this thing to fire, see if we can make smoke. And my problem is I'm waiting on battery cables. So I'm still stuck with these little guys. Understand something, there's a big difference. There's a lot of different cables. This is what you call 2-gauge, smaller. What I ordered was a 4-aught, which is 4 zeros, 0, 0, 0, 0. That's a 4-aught cable. This is a 2-gauge cable. You'll also find 2-aught. 2-aught would be between these two. So you got, what I ordered was a 4-aught cable, 2 of them, 8 footers to go from the starter back to the batteries, and then I ordered a set of 2-aught cables to jump between the batteries. And as you can tell down here, we've got this thing all Frankenstein. I'm just trying to get jumper cables. I'm trying to get these 2 batteries to talk to each other, have the jump box give it some more juice. I'm just trying to get this thing to crank over to see if it'll start. That's all we're trying to do right now. My hope and my prayer is that this thing, if it starts, that the governor's not stuck and this thing doesn't try to run away on me, because then we got a bigger issue. But there's only one way to find out, and that's just to fire it off. So hopefully the fuel shut-off solenoid's working. I'm looking for ignition switch for this. We finally found out like the true VIN on this vehicle, so now I can actually find parts. But until battery cables get here, there's not much I can do other than Mickey Mouse jumble this thing together. I think what we're gonna do is add a 3rd battery to it too. This came factory with just the 2 batteries. I think we're gonna add a 3rd one, so it'll be at like 2,800 ccas and really get this thing just like really fire over. So we're playing around with it this afternoon. Didn't record any of it because it was all boring stuff until it went thump, and the fuel pump moved. Oh, thank you. So we got excited. We jumped up and down, ran around, did a couple laps. No, that didn't happen. But we did get excited because now there's hope. Because I've been looking at rebuild kits, which I still need to get a gasket kit because I gotta reseal the thing. We're gonna do it right, but right now we're just trying to get it to fire. That's all I want to do is have this thing make noise, and then we'll reseal everything. We'll do it the proper way, I promise. Just like the battery cable thing, I told you guys we're gonna do it the right way. So I'm gonna go over there, take a screwdriver, jam it down into the ignition switch, and see if this thing will turn over. Hopefully there's enough juice between all of this. I don't know. I really don't know. But we're gonna see if we can get this thing to do something. So we figured we'd bring you along for the ride to see if this actually does anything. So juice is flowing. I gotta go. I gotta go. Don't hit yourself. I say ouch. You know why? You hear that? That's a good noise. Alright, so that tells me I don't have enough juice in here. I'm not getting enough power to it, which I understand. Everything's trying to go through these little tiny cables, and it makes a difference. Like, you wouldn't think so, right? Like, power travels. Like, no, it needs room to travel. It's kind of not much different than a hose. If you think about it, if you want more water, you need a bigger hose, but you also have to have the pressure to supply that hose. So you can have too big of a cable and small batteries, and that's going to affect things. You can have giant batteries and too small a cable, and that's going to affect things. And that's what we're dealing with right now. We got big batteries, really terrible connections. I'm talking terrible connections. So I may get another vehicle over here, find something that's in the backyard that I can hook up to this thing with some jumper cables. I don't know. I'm kind of getting to a loss here, but I'm kind of like, you know what? Let's just do it proper. Let's wait for the battery cables and then we'll do it. But I got it freed up, and that's what's important. That's the important thing. And it's going to take a minute because there's not a lot of fuel in here, and I'm not really doing anything to help bleed it. That's a bad idea too. There is transmission fluid in here. Not a ton. I sucked a bunch of it out. We didn't leave it in there. So, but that will help it go. I guess I could get some laughing gas and spray it in here, but I don't want to do that. So if I can't get this thing to crank over more, then I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait until we get the right cables, so we're not putting stress on the rest of the system. I'm not possibly chancing a fire or something else going on. But one of the things I could do, now that I think about it, that would be smart. I mean, I guess I could prime it. Back here we got a little priming pump. Diesel does not, and I repeat, does not like air in the fuel system. So what this does is it just pumps up the diesel, puts pressure. So we're filling the bowl down in the fuel pump down here, which we just had all apart. I can hear the fluid moving. And actually, if I put a screwdriver on these lines, I can feel it moving. So that's a good thing. So we can just pump this thing up. You want to get it to where it's got a ton of pressure. So right now I'm just filling the bowl. That's all I'm doing. It's kind of like a carburetor, you know. You have to have gas in it for it to do what it needs to do. So we're gonna pump this thing up. Yeah. Oh, this could take days. Nope. I hear noise. I hear pressure leaks. I hear something squirting. Might be bleeding off. Why aren't you moving? Where'd my pliers go? I saw it that time. I'm not hitting my head. You guys enjoyed that way too much, I'm telling you. You guys really enjoyed me hitting my head way too much. I'm starting to think, ooh, that's what we needed. So far things are moving when we need them to move. All right, we're peeing. We're down below, we're peeing out below, so that's what we need. That means that this is getting filled up, but I also see that we're leaking up here. That could pose to be a bit of an issue. But again, we're just trying to, we're probably gonna have leaks. And see exactly where we're leaking. Exactly where I thought it would leak. Dang it. But this shouldn't be a big issue. Shouldn't be. Where'd that 9/16? Oh, it's down there on the ground, huh? Drew, you might have to grab me that 9/16 right there by you. So you gotta make sure that all these lines are tight. Thank you, sir. Make sure that all this stuff I took off and barely remembered how to put back together. We're gonna make sure it's working. Yeah, right. I doubt it. I doubt it. This is my ADHD, by the way, so I see a little bit of mess and I gotta clean it up. This is, we should have called this ADHD. All right, I'm gonna try and turn this over again. I'm not expecting a lot. I'm just hoping that we can get enough to it to get this thing to rotate over. But I mean, that little jump box or charger box, whatever thing, it only puts out 225 amps, and that is nowhere near enough for this. I've got jumper cables, dirty jumper cables with thin, halfway connected wires holding the two batteries together, which is not enough. And I got 2 gauge wire where there should be 2/0 and 4/0. And cross your fingers. That's all I'm saying. That battery box just click over there? That click. That clicked. It said it's done. It's had enough.
Yep. It's holding.
I might need a second set of paws over here. Because it's trying. It's turning over a lot better than I thought it would. I'll tell you that. But I might need to throw a wrench on some of these injectors. I want to see if I'm getting pressure out. Probably just moving some air through the system right now. That's always a hard part, is getting these things bled. But we're gonna give it an honest go, you know? Let me go grab a wrench and we'll crack one of these fuel lines. I'll show you how we bleed these things. The injector lines are a 3/4 or 19 mil. Whatever you got in your toolbox, it'll fit. But the best way to do it, and I can show you, probably right down here if you want to come on down in here real quick. If you look right here, there's injector lines right here. So these lines just run to each of the cylinders. And so what I'll do is, similar style to this, is I'll just break them loose. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it on the injector side all the way over here. So I'll come up here to, what is the cylinder 2 is my guess. And we'll just crack it loose. Don't take it all the way off, just get it to where it's finger tight, right? And you only need to do one. You can do a couple if you want, but I usually do them one at a time. I'll just crack it loose, and then what I want to see is, while I'm cranking it over, is fuel shooting out of this. Because we need fuel to shoot out of it. That's ideally what we need. So what was getting before was a trickle, and it was barely coming out, but that was just because I was pressurizing the system with the pump. So without me pressurizing the system with the pump, am I getting fuel coming, being fed to the injectors and being pumped by the pistons inside of here? There's little tiny plungers in here that will push the fuel. The problem we were having is there's a valve that was gummed up and stuck, and what it is the fuel shutoff solenoid picks up on the piece pushes down on another piece, and that makes this valve open up or close. These little wings in there, and that was all gummed up and stuck. So we let it soak in training fluid. I pulled the pin out of the center. I worked each of them separately. Now it seems to be completely freed up. So that, in theory, should be working. So now we need to see if we're getting squirt where we're supposed to get squirt. Does that make sense? Okay, good. All right, crank it over again. You guys let me know if that thing starts squirting. Huh?
Start beatboxing that sound.
I know. It's rapping. All right, I might need you, Joey, to work the key.
Okay.
AKA screwdriver.
Hey!
Yeah. It's a custom key. We don't have any starting fluid, do we?
You got brake clean?
Eh, it doesn't seem to like to go on brake clean.
What is this freaking... You shoving all the way in there, Chris?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just did it once when it went buzzed. All right. Go for it. Okay, hold on. So maybe the plunger's not plunging. I don't know. I can hear it moving, but I don't know if it's grabbing that, lifting up that plate. That's a potential. It looks, it's clean. It should be doing what it should be doing. See what it does now. Right now. You got that back on 225 over there? Woo! I'm seeing a pulse. Dude, it is, I'm getting a little bit of a, it's not spraying yet, but I'm getting a little bit of a pulse. I'd be willing to bet if we go get some starting fluid, because it does not like brake cleaner. I bet if we go get a can of starting fluid, it'll freaking, it might do what it's supposed to do. Do what it do. So I might run out and go grab some starting fluid and come right back and see if we can get this thing to go. Hang tight. We got Liquido de something. I don't know. AKA starting fluid. So, got some happy juice, some laughing gas. We're gonna shoot it down in the yap here and see if we can get it to mark off. I'm using this pick here because down inside there's a little valve that likes to open and close, and that's what we talked about earlier. This guy's supposed to be doing. So I'm gonna make sure that stays lifted up. With that lifted up, I'm seeing a little bit of squirt coming out of here. So I don't like to put starting fluid in diesels at all, but we're gonna try and help it out a little bit with some starting fluid and hopefully get this thing running to where it's pumping the fuel where it needs to pump the fuel. So got my buddy over here helping with the key, and there's his hand. So Jason, if you want to go ahead and crank it. Maybe. Uh-oh, maybe not. Is it not doing it? Straight in there. Should feel the key in. Let me see something real quick. Let me check that out. I just need to put a little bit more force on it. Fire in the hole. Fire in the hole. You have to hold it. Hold on. let's see if it'll start again on its own without the laughing gas.
Fire in the hole.
I have air pressure. I have runnability. It's got to clear out. I don't know. We might still have to work on the governor, play with some other things, make some adjustments. But with a little bit of laughing gas, we're helping it get going. You can hear the air leak, which is awesome. We can fix air leaks. That's easy. But it's built up air pressure. The alarm is off. So the air compressor is working. We'll see if the alternator's working, but everything seems to be working. Other than, you know, we gotta let it just run. That's the biggest thing, is we just gotta let it run. So I'm gonna let it sit here and idle for a little bit. I'm gonna get started again, and we'll let you guys know the next step. But I will just say this: I am super stoked that this thing is running. We didn't have to go spend a ton of money yet to get this going. We were able to get the pump freed up. So when these things sit for a while, they get gummed up. But you know what? We were able to get it all freed up. Let it just soak in some transmission fluid. Be real careful, real soft. Whisper a little bit. Just whisper. Whisper. Talk sweet nothings to her, and she fires up, man. I am so excited, and I'm excited to have you guys along with me. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one. All right, Jason, let's bark this thing off again. Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! There we go. Oh, almost. The horn works. It works. Oh, what? It ain't got no air in it. Think we let it sit too long. We got some air leaks to fix. But she's running. Meep, meep.
We gotta get some outtakes too.
Just look up, beep, and we're going. All right. Okay.
I guess you know why they call it laughing gas.
Yeah. Laughing too much.